¿Qué paso, guys? It's Hola Pablo again. Welcome back to another analysis video. Today we're going to focus on Bitcoin. I'm going to do a real brief video here on where I think Bitcoin is going, what we're looking at right now according to the Wyckoff and volume spread analysis, technical reads. We see that we came down off this distribution here, this lengthy distribution. Here they started putting on the brakes. Buyers came back in, and this is what we call the PS in Wyckoff terms. Now, if you notice, I did something like this a little bit earlier when I compared Wyckoff, the Wyckoff Bitcoin with Terra Luna Classic. So this is where the brakes have been put on, and this is the primary support that's coming in. And then from here, we can see we could discern the selling climax, which would be right here. The selling climax is where the supply begins to dry up, demand comes in, boosts it up to the automatic rally. I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and do the automatic rally, which would delineate trading range support and trading range resistance. Here we're all the way up to resistance. We'll do it about here. And so this is our Bitcoin trading range right now. And so this is the selling climax, this is the automatic rally, and then it came back to form the secondary test. Now the secondary test looks like it's going to land right on the 0.5 fib line, just about. Yeah, so it's pretty much midline right now. It's hugging midline. We see all the areas where it's touched down and it's rallied back up to trading range resistance, come back down. There's another bounce, another bounce, another bounce. Just bouncing between midpoint and resistance. Another bounce here. It came down a little bit here, beneath midpoint. Came back up, penetrated the TRR, trading range resistance, and then came back down to midpoint, bounced again, and now we're currently here, bouncing around, consolidating within. I want you to notice something down here in the volume. Every time it bounces down and touches midpoint, we're getting a supply bar that is spiking, which is above average volume, above average supply, above average supply. You look at this, look how supply is overtowering demand just about on every turn. The demand that precedes it and the demand that follows it, it's basically supply is the skyscraper on that city block. So we got one here, we got one here. These supply bars have dominated the preceding demand and the demand which follows, and then we have more supply, more supply. So far the sentiment on this range has been decidedly bearish. All right, sorry to say for those of you that are wanting to pump up the paradise. I believe Bitcoin will eventually pump the paradise, but it's gonna take some time. It always takes time with crypto. Crypto always takes time. If you're in crypto to get rich, man, you're in the wrong place. Go buy a scratch off lottery ticket. You got a better chance of winning right now than putting your money in some of these coins right now. If you want to get rich in crypto, you got to sit and wait. You got to hodl, and unless you know something about a pump and dump, and that's stuff you shouldn't be messing around with anyway. So Bitcoin will go up, but right now I think the sentiment is Bitcoin is going down. How far down? How far down? Well, if it continues to break and it breaks trading range support, we can go back down to the fib. Now the fib is the first fib, the Fibonacci, the 1 fib, the 1.0 fib. That's trading range support. That's where it marked all the way down to before we had the selling climax. The selling climax, we basically, it wicked all the way down to almost, between 25 and 24,000. So it may visit this again. It may go down and close out this lower liquidity gap. But if it doesn't, I'm thinking it may go down. We may visit 27,000, and it may even mark all the way down to the 1.618 retracement, which would bring it down to about 25,000. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw $25,000 Bitcoin in the days coming up. It wouldn't surprise me at all. In fact, that's probably a good thing. I would buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and a bunch of the alts too are going to follow down too. So that means you can get some cheap Solana, some really cheap Matic, some cheap Avalanche. Like I said in the previous video, I am so into the Ethereum rivals, and I believe they're going to be heavy hitters in the months and years to come. And like when I got into Ethereum was $400, and I just started buying at 400, and look where Ethereum is today. These coins that have their own blockchain, that's the thing. Assets that run on their own blockchain. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to fail one day and go belly up like Luna, But, you know, if I had to place my bets, that's something rather than some kind of shitcoin. You know, I'm going to put it in something that actually has a purpose and a projectable protocol or mission for the future. Now we see that this here, we shot up to, you know, real quick. Let me do some fib extensions on this quickly because I want to end this. The one fib. Now, if this reverses and goes the other way, and suddenly we get just a massive influx of demand, then we could see this rising all the way up to 36,000 in the days to come. That would bring it to the golden ratio, to the 1.618 golden ratio Fibonacci extension. But in order for that to happen, it would definitely have to be like a big bear trap down here. And I think it's going to shake out first before it pumps. And we see this, and this is a typical redistribution Wyckoff schematic. Here's a schematic I pulled. This is a redistribution schematic. Want to give credit to Roman Bogomazov of Wyckoff Analytics. He does really excellent work, him and Bruce Fraser. I really respect those guys. And if you haven't checked out the website, go ahead and do it. Wyckoff Analytics. They have this thing called the bias game. And if you could do that, it really trains your eyes in pattern recognition in conjunction with the only thing that's missing off these are the volume, the vertical bar volume reads. But if you do the Wyckoff bias games on their website, it has the volume reads. So you could read the VSA in conjunction with the Wyckoff schematics. And it really gives you a more of a complete feel and view for market sentiment, or at least trading range sentiment. So you see here, if we keep going back and forth, now burn this in your brain right here, the way, you know, what you're saying. You see the automatic rally, secondary test, and then maybe a sign of strength, comes back down, sign of weakness, and then it comes up, and this would be the UTAD. And we kind of see the similarity with the pattern that we're dealing with now with Bitcoin. And of course, this is a redistribution, meaning it comes out of a distribution range, just marked down, consolidates sideways, looks like it's going up, but this really turns out to be a bull trap, and then it just dumps, and usually dumps, goes back down to the 1.618 Fibonacci, and by doing that, sometimes it closes out liquidity voids, liquidity gaps. So that would make sense if it were to do that. But what kind of clued me in that this, like another thing that this could be a potential redistribution range, is the failure to rally right here, making this in essence a UTAD, up thrust after distribution. And so if that were the case, then that would render this, or this rally that came back up to trading range resistance, as a LPSY. LPSY is last point of support before it goes down. Now, it just never closed it out. It just failed to rally. It bounced off the one fib and then started retracing. And look at this huge demand supply spike when it touched the one fib. It came back down. So we see overall supply predominance. Supply has been building. Look at this. Look at these supply spikes. They basically dominate all the preceding demand and the demand that follows them. It's like if you were to look at a city skyscraper, like a city, like a skyline, like a city skyline. These would be the skyscrapers that really stand out, and then the demand would be the lower buildings. But all the big high buildings, the Empire State Buildings and the World Trade Centers and all that, those are all supply bars, guys, on this range. So that shows me that, again, this is a bearish sentiment on all this. So anyway, that's about it for Bitcoin. We're going to keep an eye on it. I'm expecting a distribution, especially as we we embark upon the weekend. Weekends are typically bearish in crypto, especially Sundays. That's how it got the name Bloody Sunday for crypto. Those who have been trading and swing trading cryptos and investing in crypto for a few years, surely you've begun to see patterns in the weekends with, man, everything goes red on the weekends, especially on Sunday. Everything just fucking bleeds out. So that, coupled with the VSA and the Wyckoff that we've just looked at, leads me to believe that we can expect another redistribution with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin begins to mark down, don't be overly alarmed. Saw it here on this video, and I'll be with you, and I'll keep trying to do updates, God willing. So all right, so hope to talk to you guys soon. Be safe, and have a pleasant weekend, and adios.